Higher education is under attack, and Texas is the new testing ground. The University of Texas Board makes it easier to fire faculty and close programs. Part of the reason why they're able to do this is that they shut down the Faculty Senate, which is the body through which faculty members help to run an institution, but that has closed. And so there was no way to get the information out to faculty that this was going on. And so as it says here, the policy has made it possible for a department that engages in teaching or research that attracts negative attention from state political leaders can be made vulnerable. So what you can see below is they folded 4 departments together, not surprisingly, African and African diaspora studies, Mexican American and Latina studies, women's studies, and gender and sexuality studies, and American studies. But this didn't start with Texas. Over a decade ago in Wisconsin, Scott Walker eroded tenure protections. And when you do that, you enable the institution to eliminate certain programs. We saw this a couple of years ago with the University of West Virginia, when out of seemingly the blue, they slashed departments and fired faculty members. I first learned about E. Gordon Gee when I first started studying the marketing of higher education. And he was always noted as like the guy to see because he does these things called Gee-mails. Let me show you.
Nearing the end of 2017, when we had much to celebrate. Though I'm not one to gaze longingly into the rearview mirror, it is important to reflect on the joys and successes of each passing year. Since returning to West Virginia University nearly 4 years ago, I have had the pleasure of bringing to you these fun yet often thoughtful videos we call Gee-mail. With another year wrapping up, let's take a look back at some of the best and worst moments of Gee-mail history in 2017.
Now, after he's bamboozled everybody with his Gee-mails and how friendly he is, and he's reporter on the scene and all that kind of stuff, then he does this. In a move that can only be called shocking, not just people in West Virginia, but all throughout higher education, this president slashed 143 faculty jobs and 28 academic programs. Higher ed overall is in trouble, and colleges are dealing with significantly reduced enrollments, but West Virginia's enrollments are down 10%, which is much higher than the national average. Because their numbers were so bad, the Board of Trustees had to cut the budget by $75 million. Obviously, this has a huge impact on the students who are there. Any student who has less than 60 credits, which means that they're only halfway through their program or not up to halfway through their program, may not be able to finish at that university because the program won't exist for them to be able to finish. I've also talked on here about how colleges knew that there was going to be this cliff. There was a cliff in terms of the number of students who were going to enroll because millennials had aged out of their college years. Stupidly, Gee banked on the fact that they were still going to have the same kind of enrollment they had before. Like, why? Why? It's also important to note that he didn't make cuts to administration. He made cuts to programs and to faculty. The reason why this has implications beyond West Virginia is that if we have a university president and his board of trustees can just decide willy-nilly what programs they want to eliminate and what faculty they want to get rid of, there's no reason that other programs around the United States won't look at this and say, well, they did it in West Virginia, we can do it here. And this is not just an issue for faculty, this is an issue for students. Imagine if you're a student and you're going into your junior year and suddenly the program disappears. We all know higher ed is at a crossroads, but why somebody couldn't figure out before now that this guy with a bow tie doesn't know how to run an institution is just beyond me. So if you're starting to look at colleges, make sure you pay attention to things like whether or not faculty can get fired, whether or not departments can get eliminated, because they're not as protected as they used to be.